From time to time, the people that we work with at Word Made Digital will comment about the apps that we use. Maybe it's one that they've never heard of and get really intrigued when we use it and engage with them through the app. So in this Word Made Digital tutorial, we're going to be talking about apps for church communicators and charities you must have in 2022. We live in a digital world full of apps now, and a lot of the apps that we download, they end up in the apps graveyard. That is, we download them because they seem cool or exciting with high hopes, and then they end up not being used at all. But this tutorial, we're going to focus on 5 apps that we use as a team, and I use personally all the time to do work in communications and creative to help churches and charities all over. So with that in mind, thank you so much to the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities who are making this tutorial possible. More on them later. Let's dive into some of my favorite apps. App number 1, Canva. Now you've probably heard of Canva, but you've probably used it on desktop, on the web browser, not as an app. I would love if you use Canva for you to check out the Canva app for your phone. I love the Canva app for phone because all the functionality that's built into the desktop version, that is, you do it on the browser on their website, has been really built in and thought through on the app version on your phone. I've been amazed how on the go, when I get an idea, when I'm thinking of something, I can pull something out of the Canva app on my phone and bring it to life using all my colors, fonts, logos. You can pull in video backgrounds and photography and beautiful things to make that image or that reel come together. And it's been amazing to see how that can happen now on the Canva app for your phone. If you haven't checked it out, or maybe you checked it out years ago, check out the Canva app now because they've made a ton of upgrades and I think you're gonna love it and find it a quick, easy way, especially for social media content, to make things happen as you're inspired and as you're on the go. Number 2 on my list is Calendly. Calendly, you've probably received invitations for it. It's a calendar planning app. If you don't have Calendly or something like it, download it today. It's not a sponsored video by them, maybe it should be, but I love Calendly. It's really been a game changer for me with organizing my calendar. Even if you have an assistant or someone who coordinates administration for you. I did when I got this set up. She's no longer with our team, but when we set this up, it was a game changer for our whole team because no longer you or your assistant have to go back and forth on what day of the week and is it 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock and oh no, sorry, I have to change the time, I need to reschedule. Where was that link again? How does that all work? We know the back and forth that can happen in meeting planning and event planning. Even if you're just trying to have lunch with a friend, if you can send a Calendly link, you can set up different calendars. So for example, I have one for my podcast, I have one for a 30-minute meeting, a 1-hour meeting, one for an in-person meeting. You can set them up for different things. You can even set one up for a personal social event that you're trying to coordinate, and they can find a time that's convenient to them that you have made available. And you can make different time available for different people. So maybe key team members would have any available time on your calendar because you want to value time with them. And maybe that's, for your spouse or for your kids, you want to make sure it's all available to them to book the 15-20 minutes with you. Or maybe you don't operate in a family that way, but you know what I mean, if they're trying to sneak in about an important conversation around budgets or something in the home. Or maybe in your work, you want to make sure that you have ongoing meetings, 30 minutes every week with someone, or hey, you just are trying to go back and forth with someone trying to set up, whether it's a podcast or whether it's an event of any kind. Calendly has been a game changer for me. I've had some people in high up organizations receive a Calendly link from me and then say after, you've just sold me on it, this was so easy, I was worried that sending a link this way might feel rude or less personal, but it wasn't. It was so seamless and easy. I felt well served by the link that you sent me. So I encourage you to get it for yourself. Number 3 on my list is Asana, project management software that we use. It's an app on your phone, it's on the iPad, it's on desktop. It can be everywhere that you are planning and managing all of your tasks and projects as a group. It can store all the files, you can do all the things. So I don't know which one you use. We've tried them all. The Trello, Basecamp, ClickUp. There's so many. I feel like I've tried about 10 and we keep coming back to Asana. We like Asana because it's robust. It can be built for what you need. It can be built for lots of different kinds of teams, whether you're a creative team or a technical team. I think Asana is a great option. We did actually a whole tutorial video with someone who's known as an Asana expert. They're certified with Asana, and so you want to go check out that. We'll link it below so you can check out the video with the Asana expert. His name is Marquis, because Asana can do so much for you, and it might be the game changer that your team needs as you go into the fall. Speaking of game changers going into this fall, I want to let you know about the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities. If you aren't already a member, if you become a member now, you will have membership for free to the end of 2022, and then you'll start with paid membership into 2023. It's an amazing and surprisingly affordable way to get all kinds of help and resources for your Christian charity in Canada. So if you're wondering about things like HR policies and you're dealing with stuff with the CRA and you're not sure what to do, you're not an expert at all those things. Your job is to run your organization. So whether you're a board member or a key leader, consider membership at 4Cs so that you can actually expand your team, people who are just a phone call away, an email away, a huge database of online resources away, to all kinds of things that you might need help with and don't know where to turn for your Christian charitable organization in Canada. So you can go to cccc.org to learn more. And thank you so much to them for the 50 years they've been faithfully serving Christian charities in Canada. And thank you so much to them for supporting this tutorial series as well. All right, app number 4 on my list is Slack. Slack is one that I'm surprised not everybody's already using, because I've been using it. It's been so instrumental in my team, but also in communications in the large church that I was working at. I forget that some people aren't using it. Slack is like instant messaging for your team. So instead of sending a little email back that says, yes, got it, okay, sure, no problem, all of those quick little messages can happen in Slack, and you can actually transfer all of your internal email communication as a staff team into something that is quick and more intuitive and actually just a lot more fun to use. I think it's great for team building. You can send some fun emojis and GIFs. You can do things a little bit more naturally like you do already in probably a lot of your messaging in other ways. Email can kill your team. It can kill productivity. So consider Slack. It's free to use if you don't want to save more than, the last 90 days of messages. And usually we don't need those. Of course, it's not good for things like HR or, more things that you want to keep record of long term. You would have to save that in some other place if you use free Slack. But why not try it as a pilot with some people in your church, maybe a department of your charity, to see how it can work to transform team camaraderie, culture, and communication. Number 5, the last one on my list for today, is Grammarly. If you don't have Grammarly downloaded on your browser, on your phone, wherever you're writing things, I encourage you to do so. There's a free version and then a more robust paid version. But Grammarly is going to help you write better. It's going to find the mistakes that you make and send the email and then feel embarrassed later that, oh shoot, you missed something you could have corrected before you sent it. That document that you're working on, it will help you figure out not just grammar and spelling, but also maybe even better ways to say things. We know that communication is so critical. We know we always have room to improve as we communicate. What we always say here is not just the good news, but it's the best news in the world. So why not become a better communicator with all the tools that you have available to you out there in 2022? Grammarly is an amazing option to consider. If you're not even just a poor writer, any writer, even a strong writer, can help catch some things and save a ton of time in the editing process later. I hope this list of a few apps, these top 5 apps that I use and love and talk about all the time at We're Made Digital, will help you as a communicator of good news to save time, have more fun, and have less resistance to the projects that you're trying to get done by moving them through smoother, quicker, faster. I hope you can recommend to me some apps as well. So whatever apps that you love that I haven't mentioned, why don't you link them down in the show notes or reach out to me anytime on Instagram. Would love to hear from you. And thanks again, the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities, for making these tutorials possible. See you on the next tutorial.